The courtroom was silent, until the judge slammed her gavel and said 5 chilling words that made everyone freeze. Single father, stand up. Now. Every head turned toward the man sitting quietly in the back row. He wore old shoes, a faded shirt, and exhaustion on his face. His hands trembled slightly as he stood. Beside him sat his 7-year-old daughter, clutching a stuffed rabbit with wide, terrified eyes. To everyone in the courtroom, he looked like just another struggling father about to lose custody. But within minutes, the entire courtroom would discover a truth so shocking it would leave even the judge speechless. And it all started with one name. Daniel Carter had not slept in 2 days. His daughter Lily sat beside him, her tiny fingers wrapped around his arm as if letting go meant losing him forever. Across the courtroom sat his ex-wife Amanda and her expensive lawyer, both dressed perfectly, confident, and calm. Amanda looked nothing like the woman Daniel had married. Once she had been kind, warm, loving. Now, her eyes were cold. Her lawyer stood and spoke smoothly. Your Honor, my client believes the child would have a better future with her. Mr. Carter has unstable income, no family support, and limited resources. He cannot provide the life this child deserves. The words struck Daniel like punches. Unstable income. Limited resources. Cannot provide. They made him sound worthless. The judge adjusted her glasses. Mr. Carter, what do you have to say? Daniel swallowed hard. I may not be rich, Your Honor, but my daughter is safe with me. She is loved. She is cared for. Amanda's lawyer smirked. Love doesn't pay for private school. Daniel clenched his jaw. No. But love keeps her alive inside. Amanda rolled her eyes. The lawyer continued. Mr. Carter works multiple jobs. He often leaves the child with neighbors. He lives in a modest apartment. Meanwhile, my client can offer financial security, better schools, better opportunities. The judge nodded slowly. Then she looked at Daniel. Stand up. Daniel rose again. The judge stared at him carefully. Something in her expression changed. Not anger. Not judgment. Recognition. She leaned forward. What did you say your full name was? Daniel frowned. Daniel Carter. The judge's hand froze. Her face lost color. She whispered, almost to herself. No, that's impossible. The entire courtroom went silent. Amanda looked confused. Your Honor? But the judge ignored her. Her eyes locked on Daniel. Were you, in Riverside 14 years ago? Daniel blinked. Yes. The judge's voice shook. Near Maple Street? Daniel's breathing slowed. Yes. The judge stood. Everyone gasped. Judges did not stand during hearings. But she did. Her voice cracked. Did you save a woman and her little daughter from a burning car? The courtroom erupted into whispers. Amanda looked stunned. Daniel froze. Memories flooded back. Flames. Screams. Smoke. Rain. A woman trapped in a crushed car. A little girl crying inside. Daniel had been 23. Just driving home from work. Then he saw the accident. The car was burning. Everyone else stood back. No one moved. Except him. He ran straight into the flames. He broke the glass. Pulled the child out first. Then the mother. Seconds later the car exploded. Daniel looked at the judge. His voice softened. Yes. The judge's eyes filled with tears. The courtroom was dead silent. She whispered. That woman was my mother. Gasps exploded across the room. Amanda's lawyer stopped breathing for a second. The judge's voice broke. And that little girl. She placed a trembling hand on her chest. Was me. Amanda went pale. Daniel stared in complete shock. The judge stepped down from the bench. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. She walked toward Daniel slowly, tears streaming down her face. My mother spent years trying to find you. Daniel's voice shook. I never stayed. You disappeared. Daniel looked down. I didn't do it for recognition. The judge smiled through tears. You saved our lives. She turned toward everyone in the courtroom. This man risked his life for complete strangers. She looked at Amanda's lawyer. You call him unstable? Silence. You call him incapable? No response. Her voice sharpened. This man possesses something many wealthy people lack. She turned to Lily. Lily stared up nervously. The judge knelt before her. Sweetheart, do you love your dad? Lily nodded instantly. Yes. Why? Lily's tiny voice broke every heart in the room. Because he always stays. Silence. Tears appeared in several eyes. Lily hugged her stuffed rabbit tightly. When I'm scared, Daddy holds me. She looked toward Amanda. When I'm sick, Daddy stays awake all night. Her voice cracked. When I cry, Daddy cries too. Daniel broke. Tears streamed down his face. Amanda's expression changed. For the first time, guilt appeared. The judge stood. She returned to her bench. The courtroom remained frozen. Then Amanda suddenly stood. Her voice shook. I want to say something. The judge nodded. Amanda turned toward Daniel. She could barely look at him. When we divorced, I told myself I deserved better. Her voice cracked. I chased money, comfort, status. She looked at Lily and broke down crying. And somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing what really mattered. Daniel remained silent. Amanda wiped tears. I told myself Lily needed luxury. She shook her head. But she needed love. Her voice collapsed. And he gave her that. The judge watched quietly. Amanda looked at Daniel. I'm sorry. Daniel's expression remained unreadable. Amanda cried openly now. I became selfish. The judge took a deep breath. Then she delivered her ruling. After reviewing all testimony, this court finds that financial advantage alone does not determine parental fitness. Amanda's lawyer sat down, defeated. The judge continued. The court recognizes that Mr. Carter has demonstrated exceptional dedication, sacrifice, and emotional support for his daughter. She looked directly at Daniel. Primary custody remains with Mr. Carter. The courtroom exploded in reactions. Lily burst into tears and hugged Daniel tightly. Daddy! Daniel dropped to his knees and held her as if the world might take her away again. He cried openly. The judge smiled softly. However, everyone quieted. She looked at Amanda. The mother will receive structured visitation, provided she actively rebuilds trust with the child. Amanda nodded through tears. Yes, Your Honor. The hearing ended. But no one left. Because everyone knew they had witnessed something unforgettable. As Daniel packed his papers, the judge approached him. This time, not as a judge. As someone whose life he had saved. She handed him an envelope. What's this? She smiled. My mother asked me to give you this if we ever found you. Daniel opened it. Inside was an old photo. A burned roadside. A young Daniel covered in soot. And on the back were handwritten words. You ran into fire for strangers. You taught me what courage looks like. Daniel's hands shook. There was also a second paper. A check. Daniel's eyes widened. It was enough to change his life. No. He tried handing it back. I can't take this. The judge smiled. Yes, you can. Daniel shook his head. I didn't save you for money. She nodded. I know. She pointed to Lily. This isn't payment. Her eyes softened. It's gratitude. Daniel looked at Lily. Then at the check. Then back at her. The judge smiled warmly. You gave me my mother. Her voice trembled. Please let me help you give your daughter the future she deserves. Daniel broke into tears again. After a long silence, he whispered. Thank you? Lily looked up. Daddy, are we okay now? Daniel pulled her close and kissed her forehead. Yes, baby. Lily smiled. Can we get ice cream? Daniel laughed through tears. Yes. The judge laughed softly too. As Daniel and Lily walked toward the courthouse doors, everyone stood. Not because they were told to. Because they wanted to. Lawyers. Clerks. Strangers. Even Amanda. They stood in silent respect. For a father who had nothing. Yet gave everything. At the door, Daniel turned. Amanda stood there crying. Their eyes met. No anger. No hatred. Only truth. She whispered. Take care of her. Daniel nodded. I will. Then he walked into the sunlight with Lily's hand in his. For years, people had looked at Daniel Carter and seen a poor single dad barely surviving. They saw old clothes. Late bills. A tired face. What they failed to see was the hero hidden beneath. And on that day, inside a courtroom filled with judgment, the world finally saw him.